Hey, if you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to my world, my name is Hedy Shaw. I'm a body worker and a mindfulness teacher, and I support humans to break free from the construct of today's society to create their unconditioned lives so they can turn setbacks into strength, experience greater level of vitality, creativity, and trust in their bodies. And I do that through postural alignment, magics of mindfulness, and functional strength training. In this video, I'm taking you through a series of core exercises to not only support you to build stronger core muscles, but overall stability in the system and how your ribcage communicates with your pelvic floor. There are a lot of breathing practices involved in these core series. So if you want to learn more about the breathing, I'm going to link a video above so you can check that out so you can understand what I mean by breathing through your diaphragm. Other than that, there are other exercises today that is not only breathing through the diaphragm. I might get you to breathe into your belly for a little while, but the majority of the exercises require you to learn how to expand your ribs. So I highly recommend checking that video out. What we see on the mainstream media, there are a lot of crunches, a lot of terribly formed planks. And what we're not looking for in today's session is using our spine to get our core working. We actually want to learn how to use our core independent from our spine and ideally create a perfect support system for our spine. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I highly recommend if you've got a ponytail, take the ponytail out or just put it all the way up to the top of your head so it's not interrupting any of your neck positioning, because keeping your airways open is super important. So make sure your chin is slightly lifted up towards the ceiling, not too far out, but slightly lifted up. We don't want to be here so we don't have any room for the breath to move through us. So we want to keep the airways nice and open here. And you're going to start by breathing into the depths of your pelvic floor, all the way down, breathing into your belly, getting your belly nicely expanded. Hold it for a couple of seconds. We want to allow everything down there to soften and relax. And then you imagine that you have the straw on your lips and you're blowing the straw as hard as possible. Feeling your rib coming down and in, feeling your waist becoming smaller. You keep that going. Breathe in. Expanding that belly, allowing everything in your pelvic floor soften and relax. And full exhale out. For demonstration purposes, I have my arms on the side, but you can have your hands on your belly so you can really feel the expansion and connect with the rhythm of your breath. Keep that going. Inhale. Pause for a couple of seconds, let everything soften and relax, and full exhale out. Empty, empty, empty. I didn't say push your lower back into the ground or anything like that. When you're fully exhaling, in an ideal world, your lower back actually gets slightly lifted off the ground because the core is taking over. But that also depends on your body composition. So if that doesn't happen, that's not the end of the world. But what I don't want you to do is actively pushing your lower back into the ground. Keep that going. Last one here. Full exhale out, completely empty. And let everything go, relax. So now we're going to get our arm positioning into this, like as if you're creating a triangle right there. So you're creating a nice reach from the back of the shoulders. I don't want the chest to collapse in, but I also don't want the shoulder blades to be back like that. So we want to create that nice reach, feeling your shoulder blades are opening up to the side. You're creating a nice open back. Keeping the airways nice and open again, so we breathe in. Full exhale out, the same thing. Want you to see if you can go a little bit longer on the exhale, and ideally have a pause between your exhale and your inhale. And the inhale remains nice and soft, so you're not going to be activating everything. You're keeping it as soft as you possibly can. So keep that going. We're here for 5 reps or 5 rounds of breath. When you're really snatching the core muscles and the waist, you start feeling that your butt is poking back, and that's what we're looking for. So we're here for 1 more. Soft inhale. Soft inhale, normally 2 to 4 seconds, and then full exhale out for 8 seconds. And slowly let it go. After a quick break, we're going to take this up a notch. But it's really important that you understand where your body is at. So we want to add a leg lift to this exercise. Leg lift is not all the way here. Leg lift is pretty close to the ground, and nothing on the upper body and the spine should change. And if you feel like when you're making the lift, everything changes on the upper body, so the lower back pushes down into the ground, or you feel tension in the lower back, you're not ready for this exercise yet. So stick with the 2 first version of this until you really grasp what it feels like to create that contraction in the core. So we're going to breathe in, arms in that triangle position. Inhale, filling up, creating that expansion in the side of the ribs. Inhale. On the inhale, gently lift the feet off the ground. So I'm not tensing up. I'm not using my hip flexors here. I'm keeping it pretty nice and relaxed on the lower leg, almost as if your legs are weightless. So we go for a full exhale out here. Soft inhale. Don't lose the contraction you created. Now all the air is going into your rib cage, creating that nice breathing to the side of the ribs, to the front, to the back. Full exhale out. If you feel like this is too much, you can always drop. Inhale again, lift. Always we lift on the inhale and we full exhale out. One last one. Remember, you can always drop and reset yourself and bring your leg back up. One last one. Beautiful. Slowly let it go. Have a quick break here. The next exercise, you're going to have your feet on the wall, getting into a nice tabletop position. So oftentimes people get too far back. So I want you to be nice and square on the legs and nice and square on the upper body. So you're going to tuck that pelvis under you, especially those of you who have a tendency to have a lot of tension in your lower back. This is going to be such a beautiful relief for your lower back. So keep that pelvis nicely tucked under you. Keep pushing your feet into the wall. Keep pushing the ground away from you. You want to have your shoulder blades moving away from the spine without you rounding, okay? And then your head is nicely along the rest of your spine. You're not dropping that. So remember that we want to keep the airways nice and open so we can let the breath breathe through us effortlessly. So you're going to inhale. Nice full exhale out. Once again, we're aiming for 8 seconds long exhale to get everything nicely integrated in the core. Keep that going. Inhale. Full exhale out. Keep that contraction in the core in your lower ribs as you're inhaling. So naturally the breath is taking the path of least resistance, is going to go into your upper back and create a nice expansion in your upper back. To keep that going, once again, remember, we're not going into a cat position or rounding our spine. We're only focusing on pushing the ground away from us and have the shoulder blades slide to the side. So we're here for 1 more reps. And you can take a break. For those of you who have a lot of struggles with your wrist and staying over your wrist for an extended period of time, I would encourage you to stick with the first exercise until you're really building a lot of strength in the system. If you're looking for a way to potentially minimize the pressure on the hand and you feel like it's not too difficult, you can still be there, but you would ideally like something to support you with. So grab a towel and elevate the base of your hand. So then your hands are going to be in a slightly inclined position. The next exercise is the progression of the exercise that I just demonstrated. If the next exercise is pretty difficult for you, stick with what I showed you so you can build strength towards what we're about to do right now. So this is by far one of my favorite exercises, and I get my clients to build up enough strength in their core that they can hold this position for at least 5 rounds of breath. We can start with 1 inhale, full exhale, rest, 1 inhale, full exhale, rest. And once again, 2 to 4 seconds inhale and 8 seconds exhale. That's what we're looking for. So you're going to get into that tabletop position once again. So you're going to push the ground away from you, create that nice openness in the back, feeling your shoulder blades sliding to the side. You inhale, lift up. The heel is going to dig into the wall. The whole feet is digging into the wall. You fully exhale here. And then slowly drop it down. So when you're lifting up and focusing on the exhale, you want to make sure that you simultaneously focus on increasing the pressure on the ground through the inner part of your hands. So you're getting even more space in the back. So you're not losing the back expansion. So let's go for 4 more here. Inhale. And slowly drop it down. Let's keep that going for 3 more. Inhale. Heels digging into the wall. Full exhale out, pushing the ground away from you. Keep that going. 2 more here. Inhale. Lifting up. Full exhale out. One last one. Lift up. Full exhale out. Slowly drop down. Some of the compensations that I see when clients doing these exercises, especially when it gets tough and they're not giving themselves enough of a break, this is what happens. So they start arching the lower back or they start digging the chest down. So they're losing that upper back expansion. They're losing that tuck in the pelvis. So I want you to make sure that you've got all of these. When you get really good at this, the next progression is you're going to create that tabletop, lean forward, and then lift up. So that's going to give you a massive burn in your core. But I think for the majority of the people I met and I worked with, these series of exercises and building up strength to the last one is going to be massively supportive in restoring your core and build powerful core that's going to support you in whatever activity that you choose to do with your life. If you're enjoying my videos, Make sure that you subscribe, stay tuned, and watch other videos around your posture, core, and the mindfulness aspects of all that we call health. And I do have a beautiful free ebook for you down below that has an in-depth, simple, yet practical tools and guides for you to take care of your nutrition, your movement, your nervous system regulations, and so much more.